Hello, my name is Sarah Larkin, and this video is going to discuss using the rule of 4 with the counting method to do addition problems. Anytime you're using the rule of 4, you need to think about on the abacus what happens when I move from 4 to 5. So let's look at the abacus and just set 4 on the abacus, so that's 4 beads in the ones place. And now as I want to move from 4 to 5, I need to think about what 5 looks like. Well, 5 actually has the 5 bead down, but it does not have the 4 ones. So that would be just 5 against that counting or separation bar. So think about what happened again. I moved from 4 to 5. The easiest way to do that is to go up to the 5 bead and with a single stroke, move that 5 bead down along with the 4 below it. And then as you continue counting, you'll continue using those 1 beads to move up. One more time, looking at the 4, going 1 more up to the 5 bead. I bring that down towards the counting bar while clearing below it and then continuing to count. So be sure that's 1 nice stroke as I go up to the 5 bead and bring the 4 ones down. So let's look at some problems that use the rule of 4. The first example, 22 plus 14. I'm going to go ahead and move 2 10s and 2 1s up on the abacus. When I go to add 14, I'm going to add 1 10 and then 4 1s. As I go ahead and add the 110, real basic, I just move 1 more bead up in the 10 spot. But now as I go to do the 4 1s, I'm going to be moving 4 beads up, but the problem is I only have 2. So at that point where I run out, I'm going to do that 5 bead and make a stroke down. So let's go in the 1 spot. So far I have 2 beads. I'm going to count 4 more. 1 up, 2 up, go up to that 5 bead and say 3 as I move down the 5 and the 1s. And I've only gone to 3 so far, so 1 more will make it 4. For a total of 3 10s and 6 1s, or 36. Now before I move to the next problem, I always want to make sure I clear the abacus. This time I'm going to do 24 plus 63. So I'm going to move 2 10s and 4 1s up towards that separation bar. Now in this case, I'm going to run out in both columns and we'll have to go up to that 5 bead. In the 10 spot, I'm going to bring 1 bead up, a 2nd bead up. Now there aren't any more. So I'm going to go up to the 5 bead as I say 3 and move them all down. Continue counting with the 1 beads. 4, 5, 6 as I move them 1 at a time towards that counting bar. Notice I should have 8 in the 10th spot now. Now I need to add 3 1s. So in my 1s location, notice there's no more that I can move up. So my first bead will be going up to the 5 bead and moving them all down and saying 1. Continue counting with the 1s, 2, up, and 3 up. So notice now I have 7 in the 1 spot for a total of 87. 8 10s and 7 1s. Let's look at more digits. Let's go to a 3-digit problem. Clear the abacus completely. I'm going to set the first number of 463. That's 4 hundreds, 6 10s, and 3 1s. Now again, depending on the student, that finger placement may be real important, so let's talk about that a little bit. If I'm doing hundreds, I would want my left index finger in the thousands column, just to the left of where I'm working. That way it's easy for me to find where I'm supposed to be at. So in that hundredths spot, I need to add 300, which, by the way, if a student needs to keep track of that number, they can certainly set the 322 over on the left side so that they do have it as a reference. So here I've got 3 hundredths, so I need to go and add 3 hundredths. In that hundredths spot, go up to the 5 bead. As I say 1 and move them all down. Keep counting with the ones, 2 up and 3 up with the 1 beads in the hundredths column. Now in the tens column, I need to add 20. That's going to be real straightforward. 10, 20. And then in the ones column, I need to add 2. So we're going to go 1 up. There aren't any more. So I'm going to go up to that 5 bead and move them all down with an answer of 785. Okay. Now, as you're doing these, you certainly can clear these numbers out one at a time as you're working with them. You should always make sure to clear all beads out before you start the next problem. Let's try a 4-digit one. 2031. So I'm going to find my thousands place. Move 2 up there. No hundredths. 3 tens. And a single 1. Again, I can place my 6,144 over on the left to keep track of what I'm adding. Or some will just keep it in their head. So they'll just say you just have to judge where, depending on the student, what they'll need to refer to. Now I'm adding 6,144, so in my thousands place, I'm going to add 6. Using the counting method, I'm going to count 1 at a time until I get to 6. Anytime I run out, I'm going to go up to that 5 bead. So in the thousands place, 1 up, 2 up. There aren't any more. Go up to that 5 bead and say 3 as I move them all down. Continue counting in the same column. 4, 5, 6. In the hundreds, I only need to add 100. So we're going to go ahead and just move that 100 up. In the tens column, I need to add 4. So we're going to go, or 40 if you want to do it that way. So I'm going to go 10. There aren't any more to add there. So I'm going to go up to that 50 bead or 5 bead. Say 2 as I move them all down. 3 and 4, or 30 and 40, depending on the student. Going into the ones column, now I'm going to add 4, 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. There aren't any more. I needed to add 1 more, that 4 as I move all of them down. Now I read my answer and I have 8,175. Now notice in all of these examples, any of these totals in any of the columns are not going to go over 9. So when I'm picking problems that fit the rule of 4, none of the places should go over 9 when you add them, because those will fall into the rule of 9 instead. So examples of the rule of 4 will make sure that it goes over 4, but not past 9. All right. The next video will actually discuss how to use the rule of 9 and the counting method to do addition problems.